Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, it is Thanksgiving week. I hope your week is going well. It's a pretty sunny day today here in Portugal. And yeah, it's Wednesday already. So tomorrow we will have Thanksgiving on the US. It will be a holiday, and probably this will be the last trading day for the week, because on Friday it will be Black Friday, and Black Friday is always a half day of trading. I think the markets tend to close at 1 p.m. So we will just have the New York AM session to trade with. So yeah, with that said, I advise you not to force anything. I'm not expecting a big volume on a day today. And yeah, let's get straight to the charts and see what eventually we can expect from this trading session today. So yeah, let's zoom out first a little bit. Let's see what the market has been doing lately. Yeah, yesterday we didn't take any trades. So yesterday was kind of a messy New York AM session. As you can see here, this was the New York AM session with a huge manipulation to the downside. But we managed to close inside this 4-hour fair value gap, the bullish one. And then after the close of the session, we managed to run to the upside. It gained some speed after 11:30, and we attacked buy side liquidity here as these Thursdays. I believe these were Thursday highs. So yeah, it was quite a run here to the upside. And yeah, since Asia, London, we didn't do much here on ES. We kind of are, I don't know, just accumulating here inside this daily fair value gap, as you can see here. If I go on the daily here, just let me zoom in a bit. So yeah, we have this daily CB, and I believe we will work this throughout the day probably, or eventually retrace a little bit lower, just to tap this untapped fair value gap on the 4-hour, which you can see here. We have some levels here, some quadrants, some percentage levels here, as you can see. This is relative to that daily wick. So we are now leaving the wick, but I would like to see, and I wouldn't mind to see a retrace lower eventually to the first quadrant, or eventually even to the midpoint of this wick. So I would accept something like this to happen. I would like to see something like this to happen. It would not affect the bullish narrative, but it would help for a more, I would guess it would help for the bullishness to maintain itself in a better way, because if we go straight to the upside like this, then we leave a lot of imbalances probably to the downside, and that would eventually be a tricky market. But yeah, I don't believe at this point that these highs are secured. The last week I was expecting some lower prices, but given the fact that we managed to do something like this here, as you can see on the daily, so we swept this low, we closed inside this bearish displacement here. We closed right inside of it, and now we are moving to the upside. So I believe these highs here are not safe anymore. unless we can reject with some displacement lower inside this civvy. Otherwise, I would say that the next drawn liquidity would be these highs and eventually all-time highs. So I don't see anything bearish here unless we invert this unless we respect this civvy here and start to move down, and eventually not stopping at these 4-hour bullish fair value gaps as well. So yeah, this is my main bias. It's a bullish one, and yeah, now I would like to see something to happen here on a New York AM session, just to be able to catch a bullish move. Otherwise, this will be an up only session, and it's always tricky to work with those sessions where price just tends to gravitate to higher levels without giving us any sort of a retrace. As you can see here, it's doing that. So it already took out London highs, but no sort of sell side liquidity was taken here. We still have previous, pre-market lows to take out. So that's kind of suspicious to me. But yeah, let's see. We already took out previous week's high, as you can see as well, on ES. I believe, let me just check if we already did it on NQ as well. Yeah, NQ still has those to take out. But yeah, let's see if we will have some sort of a retrace just to be able to engage with some longs. Otherwise, this will be very hard to engage with. It will be an up only situation, and an up only situation is always a tricky market. And if you know me already, you know that I don't really like those up only movements. I tend to be always put aside and kind of put myself offside those movements, because I don't like how price just gravitates towards a drawn liquidity without giving us some sort of a purge. And yeah, that makes me very uncomfortable trying to chase that. But let's see. Let's see how things will develop here. So far, looking at these stocks, stocks are quite, yeah, they are kind of neutral. Kind of neutral. Nvidia is gaining 2%. There are some ones that are losing, but so far nothing special. We have the first presented fair value gap here on ES already. So at this point, we took out London highs. Same thing on NQ. And now let's see if we will have some sort of a reversal here, just to take out previous weeks, not previous weeks, but pre-market lows, or if we will just continue move to the upside. So far, nice displacement to the downside here. Let me just check YM just to see what YM is doing. So YM just pushing to the upside here. Let me take a look at the daily and at the weekly as well. So the weekly, we already took out previous week's high. Let me just take a look at NQ. Yeah, NQ still has previous week's high to take out. Okay, let's get back to ES. So we are inside this daily SIBI, but I would like to see where price is in terms of the quadrants. If price really wants to respect these quadrants, or if we will just disrespect them. So with quadrants, yeah, we can do it like this. So let me just push this a little bit more to the left, take out these values. And yeah, and now we have a better perspective on where price really is. Oops. Well, so far we managed to go for 930 open. ES seems to be stronger than NQ. So still pushing to the upside, yes. Let me just take a look at the regular trading hours as well. So yeah. Yes, just leaving this opening range gap here so far. It seems like ES wants to push higher from here, but NQ is a bit heavier. NQ seems to be a bit heavier these last couple of days, as you might have seen already. It's not driving higher just like ES is. We still have Thursday's high to be taken out on NQ as well. So what about you guys? What do you have as a bias for today's price action? I'm just curious to see where you guys stand in terms of bias. And yeah, yes, just pushing here. And Q not giving us that follow through so far. Let me just mark the 950 macro. I believe we are almost there. Yes, we are. So 915 macro to 1010. So far, NQ seems a bit heavier, just like I said. And it's now respecting a bearish fair value gap on the lower time frames on the 1 minute. And actually it's respecting a bearish breaker as well. So they are quite diverging. So not doing the same. We have an SMT at the highs as well, in between ES and Q. So I believe if NQ really is able to take an inversion of that bearish fair value gap, I believe ES will just go to the upside on a up only move, just like it is doing now. There we go. Yeah, it's happening. So at this point, we are reaching the midpoint, the constant encroachment of that CB, the daily CB. And I'm curious to see if there's some willingness to go a little bit lower from that constant encroachment of the CB. Boas Knox 7 makes that. Tudo bem? Por aqui também. Por aqui também, tudo bem. Obrigado. Obrigado. És trader também? Também fazes trades? Estás a começar? Já fazes há algum tempo? Conta-me coisas. Sim, faço day trading. E costumo fazer lives sim, de segunda a sexta. Agora vamos ter a interrupção do Thanksgiving. Portanto, este em princípio será o último dia desta semana. Mas sim, faço diariamente. Se estás a começar, olha, é bom. Podes vir aqui espreitar, tentar aprender alguma coisita também. E basicamente é isso. Seja bem-vindo, pá. So yeah, ES is just still keep it's still pushing higher here. Let's wait until it reaches the midpoint of the daily fair value gap, the bearish one. Claro que sim. Está à vontade, se quiseres fazer perguntas, está à vontade mesmo. Eu responder-te-ei de acordo com aquilo que sei também, como é óbvio, né? E se tiveres alguma dúvida, apita, vais estando aqui atento aos lives também. Eles são segunda a sexta. Normalmente começo na abertura de Nova York, portanto 2h20, 2h30 aqui em Portugal. E pronto, e é basicamente isso. Olha, faço 1 minuto, como estás aqui a ver. Opero no 1 minuto, mas como é óbvio, tenho uma base em high time frame. Pronto. Construo uma narrativa basicamente em high time frame e depois tento achar a entrada, digamos assim, no minuto ou eventualmente nos 2 minutos, dependendo depois também da volatilidade do mercado e, e daquilo que ele exige em termos de stop, digamos assim. Mas sim, a base de execução é sempre 1 minuto, normalmente. E normalmente costumo fazer apenas no IS, são os microcontratos do IS, estamos a operar futuros, portanto. IS é a mesma coisa que SP 500, normalmente a malta conhece mais pelo S&P 500. E basicamente é isso, pá. Olha, já faço trading há algum tempo, como é óbvio. Aliás, já conheço trading há bastantes anos. Inicialmente as coisas não estavam a funcionar, porque eu acabava por fazer trading com base em retail concepts, e as coisas não funcionavam, era mais aquela coisa de resistência, suporte, suporte, resistência, tinha ali uns indicadores à mistura e não sei quem mais, mas a longo prazo as coisas não funcionavam. Depois em 2022, mais ou menos, decidi debruçar-me sobre ICT, ICT Concepts. Não sei se alguma vez ouviste falar. Um, Aconselho-te vivamente a procurares no YouTube ICT, e comecei a estudar os conceitos dele. E desde então uso única e simplesmente ICT Concepts para fazer trading e pá, pronto, e as coisas, como é óbvio, ainda não estou naquele nível que eu gostaria de estar, como é, como é óbvio, não é? Mas as coisas estão a ir num rumo positivo e ajudou-me bastante a entender o mercado de outra forma também e a entender, sobretudo, o mercado de uma forma que o retail normalmente não percebe. Sim, aconselho vivamente. Aconselho vivamente a procurarem ICT e a estudarem. É óbvio que aquilo é muito chato, é muito extenso também, mas ajuda aí muito. Ajuda aí muito. Cá está a reação aqui. Nós estávamos à espera, mas First Presented Fair Value Gap a aguentar por enquanto. Mas sim, se vocês estiverem a começar, procurem no canal dele, ICT, e vejam a mentoria de 2022 e depois as outras mentorias que ele tem, 2023, 2024, mas a de 2022 é sem dúvida, para mim, a melhor. Depois já há algumas coisas, o Content Core, acho eu, de 2016 também é muito importante. Mas sim, ele tem lá centenas e centenas de vídeos muito extensos, mas acho que é a melhor enciclopédia que vocês podem ter. Obrigado, obrigado, amigo. So, as we were expecting here, as soon as price reached for the midpoint of this daily CB, price kind of reacted here. Now, let's see if this is just a reaction or if we will head a little bit lower since NQ is doing the same here. Sim, em termos de backtest, claro, temos que fazer sempre, não é? Não podemos acreditar naquilo que nos vendem, digamos assim. Um, Portanto, é necessário fazer backtest durante uma porrada de tempo e depois levar as coisas para terreno real, digamos assim. Um, Esperas o comportamento nesse fair value gap e só depois entras, certo? Sim, claro. Não entro às cegas, normalmente. E normalmente depois esperamos por um retrace também, eventualmente. Um, Podes fazer no TradingView, que é uma plataforma de trading. Tens que ir pagar para fazer. Aquilo podes andar depois para trás, no tempo, digamos assim, e simulares um dia de trading e fazes isso dessa forma. É a melhor forma de fazer backtesting. Depois há um outro que é o FX Replay, não tenho certeza, mas é qualquer coisa assim, que é um pouco mais caro, que é uma plataforma dedicada apenas a backtesting, mas é mais cara, um pouco mais complexa também, mas o TradingView serve perfeitamente para fazer isso e é mais barato também. So price really displacing here from the midpoint of the CB. Sim, isso chama-se forward testing. É, enquanto o mercado está a andar, vais fazendo demo trading ou paper trading. Um, É a melhor forma, de facto. É a melhor forma porque vês as coisas a acontecerem em tempo real e as velas apresentam-se de uma forma mais real, digamos assim, porque em modo replay elas não te aparecem assim como estão a aparecer aqui neste gráfico. Elas simplesmente aparecem já formadas, digamos assim. E aqui vais vendo a formação delas. Portanto, em termos de aprendizagem, aprendes muito mais a fazer forward testing do que back testing. Um, Depois compensa pagar. Eles andam agora com. Eles até sexta-feira, acho eu, estão em Black Friday. Portanto, eles têm para aí 80% ou 60% de desconto. Um, Pagas anualmente e pronto. E não te chateias mais. É óbvio que ainda é um estourozito, acho que são perto de 200 euros. Mas, mas pronto, podes fazer mais coisas para além de backtesting, digamos assim. Este Fair Value Gap aqui está marcado no diário. Ele até está muito puxado aqui para a direita, mas isto é um Fair Value Gap diário. Portanto, se eu for aqui ao diário, ao gráfico diário, ele está aqui marcado, estás a ver? É um Daily CB, um Bearish Fair Value Gap. Depois eu ao entrar para um minuto, vejo o comportamento e vejo a rejeição clara aqui. Está um bocadinho puxado para a direita. mas é isto. So first presented fair value gap didn't hold here. Price is now displacing lower, not giving us matched chances to interact with it. So a 930 not holding as support, probably 830 won't hold as support. Midnight open probably not as well. So at this point, I'm probably waiting for this drawn liquidity. I can see a lot of stops being placed here. So this might be our next drawn liquidity. NQ a bit heavy as well. We just needed to have a larger retrace to the upside, because since now we just have this green candle right here, which is not enough for us to step in. So these are some pre-market lows, but we still have those one right here as well. And 30 open being rejected here, as you can see. So far we have this bearish leg, so let me just mark where equilibrium is right here at the order block. Okay. Yeah, nice reaction here from midnight open, supporting price. I mean, the opens are doing a good job here supporting price. 8:30 open, 9:30 open, and midnight open. If we really can support price around these areas, we might see another run to the upside. Otherwise, lower we go. So right now it's just a matter of waiting for something. Yeah. So price rejected the first quadrant of the daily CB as well, as you can see here, rejecting 930 as well. Let me just see. What's happening with the platform here? Yeah, the platform is not well connected here. I don't know why. Am I connected or not? I'm not sure. Well, if I'm not connected, I might not trade it at all. Hmm. Well, so far we managed to retrace to the upside here to the first quadrant of that daily CB. Seems like NQ wants to push a little bit higher. Same with ES. But now I'm kind of afraid about my connection to the TopStep platform. It just gave me a warning here. I don't know if you guys saw that. That doesn't make me comfortable trading. So yeah, at this point, the opens are holding price, as you can see. So the bearish narrative tends to go away. Not good for a bearish narrative here, this reaction. 7. Yeah, can't even place the trade here. God damn it. What's happening here? Let me just refresh it. Oh well. Yeah, I can't understand what's going on here with the platform. Let me just check the Discord. Yeah, platform is down now. Oh well. Can't even know if I just entered the trade or not. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, just let me Well, guys, it seems like the platform is down here. Let me go and let me see what the Discord looks like. Yeah. And I don't even know if my order got filled or not. I I did a market order, so I'm not sure. Seems like a lot of people are complaining right now. Oh well. Let me try. Yeah, I can't log in. Let me just check what's happening here. Is this another AWS outage? Doesn't seem like it. Guess they made it. We are aware of reports of an issue on the TopStepX platform. Our team is currently looking into these reports. We will share updates as soon as we have more information. In the meantime, feel free to contact support. Yeah, doesn't help much. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Yeah, just seconds before the I don't know how to call this, but seconds before I just tried to enter a market order, but it seems like it didn't got filled, but I'm not sure. I entered 4 micros. Yeah. Yeah, that really sucks. But I guess there's nothing we can do right now. They will probably, because it happened once when when the outage, the AWS happened. So I guess they I guess they reverted some of the trades or something like that. I'm not sure. So they might do something like that as well. But yeah, it really sucks. Nothing we can do right now. Boop, 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 boop. Come on, guys. Don't get me banned. Well, I've been trading for quite a while now. I started with ICT concepts back in I started to study them back in 2022, I guess. Um, and been trading and studying those concepts since 2022. But actively, I guess since it's about 1 year and a half, I guess, that I'm trying to get funded. And what about you? Do you trade DS and Q, other assets? Well, let's see what other people is doing here. Let's see what Tanya is doing. Oh, congrats. Congrats, brother. So you're you kind of you kind of starting with your funded, right? Congrats. I'm just trying to see what Tanya is doing because I can do anything else here, as you might see. We still can't log into the platform. So at this point, I'm not sure if I have anything, if my long is still open or not, because I try to place a long, and at this point, I'm not sure if I'm long or not. But that's quite annoying, honestly. I'm not sure if they will validate those those trades. Honestly, they usually tend to reset the trades whenever things like that happen. So I'm not sure, but yeah, take it easy. Just take it easy and don't try to force that on your eval. Since you started in back in October 2024, you're quite new to trading. It doesn't mean that you won't be successful with it, but yeah, give it some time and don't try to force anything because it usually gets a lot of time to progress in this business. Yeah, they probably won't go through. Um, I bought 3 micros, but I didn't even see that going through. So it was processing that they were trying to buy those 4 micros, but I never saw that the orders getting filled. So I'm not sure. kind of frustrating. But yeah, and this might probably end the week here because tomorrow it's Thanksgiving Day. Then we will have Black Friday, and the market will also close at an early stage of the day. So kind of a frustrating week, honestly. But yeah, it's approaching to big holidays, so we have to get used to it. Christmas is coming, New Year's Eve is coming, so yeah, on Friday the market will close. I guess 1:30 p.m. or 1:15 p.m. So it's an early close. Tomorrow we will have bank holiday. I believe the market won't even be able won't even open. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But it's Thanksgiving, so there will be no volume, even if the market is open. But on Fridays, Black Friday, it will close early. So no news from TopStep, right? This is very annoying. It's the first time that this happened to me, honestly. Yeah, it's the second time because on the um, AWS outage, I was streaming as well, but I didn't engage with anything. And today I tried to, but yeah, not sure if it got through or not. Yeah, you will have just the New York AM session on Friday. So it will close at the lunch hour, and yeah, and then you will have to wait for next Monday. Yeah, I guess that's another sign to not force anything, brother. It's real life keeping you on tracks. It really is. Oh well, at this point I would be in profit. Yeah, I would have faced down some drawdown as well. Um, but at this point I would be in profit. But yeah, nothing that we can do. Nothing that we can do. Quite frustrating, but it is what it is. So, and do you trade only ES or NQ, or do you trade any other commodities, or I don't know, forex or any other assets? So yeah, Tanya, uh, she went long again. I believe she got stopped out here. Yeah, you just trade S&P 500. Yeah, just like me. I just trade ES. So far, micro contracts on ES, and that's all I do. Sometimes I feel like NQ has better price action or other assets have better price action, but I tend to stick with ES and not try to search or engage with anything else. Well, she actually went long on NQ. Yeah, it really depends. It really depends on how NQ and ES are behaving. I wouldn't say that's I wouldn't say that as a full statement that NQ has better price action. I would say that there are momentums. There are moments. I mean, where NQ presents itself with better price action, but um, it depends. It really depends on what the market is really doing. So I try to stick with DS because personally, that's where I learned everything, and yeah, I try to stick with it. And personally, because of position management, it's way better to do on ES and on NQ, because on NQ you cannot trade with I don't know with 15 or 10 micros. It really depends on your account, but with a 15k with a 50k account, you cannot trade uh, 15 micros, um, or even 10 micros, or even 7 micros. So it's way better to take partials on ES than on NQ. Um, it means like you don't have to deal with runners that will cost you about 30% or 40% of the full position. On ES, you can have a runner that just has about 20 or 10% of your full position, while on on NQ, whenever you take those partials, you end up with a heavy runner. Yeah, sometimes it is good, but the majority of times you would just wasting money. Because in my opinion and in my perspective, only a small percentage of the runners just reach your target. Well, I really don't use that OCO bracket option. I just do it manually. Imagine that I open about 10 micros, and then I will just put my limit orders, uh, and would say, okay, I will close 5 here, 3 there, and yeah, and the rest of it, the market will just end up doing what it wants to do, and I don't use that. I use it. I take partials manually. Putting those limit orders. Just let me refresh the TopStepX. Yeah, seems like we are back on track. Yeah, but I didn't get filled. Yeah. Have you refreshed yours? Because I didn't get the fill. I didn't get the fill. It's not the Discord. It's yeah, yeah. I bought somewhere around here. I tried to put a market order around here. I would have faced some drawdown, but my stop would have been placed at below 830. So yeah, and now I believe it's too late for anything. just try to, yeah, yours is up as well. So I will just show you here how do I make my partials. Imagine that I will, I don't know, I will buy here 5, just like this, and my target is here, and I will put my limit order as a cell here, limit cell of 3 around here, and imagine that I would like to place another one here, and yeah, that's how I do it. And of course I will I have to monetize it, because if I get stopped out here, these limits, they don't disappear. So I will always have to be that in mind. I will always have to be that in mind, and don't forget about it. Otherwise, they can get activated with some further price action. So yeah, this is just the demo. Let's get back to the combine. So yeah, at this point, I think I will not engage with the market, since the platform is kind of unstable. Did yours get filled, or what happened to your positions? Yeah, there's no time limit. You can take as much time as you want. You just have to pay them the monthly fee, just to keep um, those accounts live. Um, but there's no time limit. You can do it in a time frame that you in the time window that you really want. So that's why I'm telling you, just go slow with it. Don't try to force anything. You probably have all the time in the world. Just think about that. By the way, how old are you, and where are you from? Yeah, I'm watching Tanya here, and she stopped her long. Yeah, this is a hard market to trade as well. But I guess I will not do anything since the platform is not stable enough. I won't put any more risk in, on top of the table. So I believe risky trading is risky enough, and we have to be accountable for everything that we do. Oh, you are an European from Denmark. Yeah, don't try to add more risk. Don't try to do it. We have to be accountable. Yeah, well, I'm from Portugal. That's why my English is not that perfect, but I guess you understand me. And you are 21. Yeah, you have all the time in the world. Believe me, bro. You have. I'm 40 already, so I had a whole nother career, and I'm just now trying to follow my dream here. Oh, you thought I was Dutch? You thought I were Dutch? Yeah. Well, I was born in Germany, um, but came to Portugal a long time ago. Since I came to Portugal with 7 years old. Yeah. Yeah. As a 21-year-old guy, you just you have a lot of time. Don't try to rush it because you will end up hurt yourself trying to rush it. You really you really you really will hurt yourself if you try to force anything, and you will create that thing that ICT calls scar tissue, and that's really a hard task to get rid of it. So uh, I filled myself with scar tissue for a long time. So don't try to do it. And always be accountable for your for your for your actions, because this is a great example for what's happening right now. Um, we have to be accountable. So if the platform is not stable enough, why should we add some more risk to what we're doing? Because trading is risky enough. I mean, uh, I'm not I'm not being cocky about it, but I guess trading is one of the hardest things that you probably learn how to do and how to deal with. But I guess uh, trading can be one of those how should I call it? Trading can be one of those professions, high risk professions where you can ruin your life standing on a chair. So it really can. If you put if you put the if you put the wrong amount of risk on what you're doing, you can really ruin your whole life with it. It's not. There are plenty of professions with a lot of risk, a lot of physical risk, a lot of mental risk, a lot of. But I believe trading has it all, and you can definitely ruin your whole life standing or sitting um, on a chair in front of your desk if you're not accountable for what you're doing. Yeah, I know. I know about that. I know. But you can always, um, yeah, see the platform is really unstable. It's connecting and reconnecting. So I won't do anything today. So as I was saying, yeah, it's kind of hard to trade and to work at the same time, to have a job. Fortunately, I have a wife that's really supporting me um in this quest, and due to her, I was able to leave my job and pursue this as a full time. But I know it's hard, but you can always frame things in a higher time frame and try to work with that on a higher time frame. And whenever you feel comfortable, you can, okay, I think I'm comfortable doing it on a higher time frame. I've tested everything on a higher time frame, and I generated probably some profits on a high time frame. And now I will do whatever I can to to work on a lower time frame and eventually leave my job with it as well. But I know it's kind of a hard pursuit because as a European, it's 3 o'clock here. It's almost 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. So everybody is working and everybody is having an active life while we are just sitting here looking at charts and commenting about whatever the market wants to do. So it's kind of hard to understand that and to have the time for it, especially when you when you are an European guy, just like me. it's it could be a little bit it could be a little bit easier if you were in the United States, for example, because you could work only afternoon and have the mornings for it for trading, and it could eventually be easier if you would be on the west, um, just like the Asia, uh, but 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 yeah, I believe being a European has this. What am I seeing here? Yeah, I believe being an European has this as a difficulty. I mean, let me just mark the 10-15 macro to 11:10. And yeah, price is really moving towards our initial draw. It was just a shame that we didn't we didn't get that feel. Um, Honestly, this is not my preferred type of price action, but as soon as I saw price supporting around the opens here, yeah, my draw liquidity was once again the midpoint of the daily fair value gap. This was really a shame. But it is what it is, I guess. Whenever do I have any specific trading confluences? Yeah, I usually tend to look for what NQ is doing. Well, let me just explain you quickly my framework. Um, I always have NQ in the background. I'm just watching it as I'm watching ES. I'm watching NQ just to see if they are doing a similar thing or not, or if there's some kind of a divergence or something like that. But yeah, I really approach it from a daily perspective. I usually start in a day, in a daily time frame, and I usually, and this is something that I do um, recently. I just introduced it to my trading sessions, and I see that it had me helped a lot. So I usually tend to mark the wicks, the premium ones, and the discount ones. So for example, I mark this wick here. These levels are the quadrants of the wick, and so we never went below the 75% of the wick here. Um, we didn't on the lower time frames, as you can see here. We kind of rejected the the top of the wick as well. So this would give us some sort of a bias with a bullish narrative. Um, all these rejections here, price coming above these quadrants, never coming back down to the midpoint. So this is something that I do um, recently, but it tends to help me a lot. So I frame a bias here on the daily, looking at market structure, of course, and all these high time frames, PD arrays, just like the daily SIBI here. And then I just move to lower time frames, just like the 4 hour, and I mark these PD arrays as well, just to have an idea about what price can eventually do if we go lower. And then on the 1 minute, I look for the sessions, Asia and London. I usually tend to believe that Asia is just a range bound session, so nothing happens. Usually London manipulates, and I tend to see London always as a manipulation. So in this case, the manipulation was lower. So London kind of manipulated lower, and it continued lower after the London session. So all this leg down here was the manipulation. So which makes sense to our bullish bias. And then we have the continuation. So in terms of if you want to see this as an AMD, here you have your accumulation, here you have your manipulation, and then you will have your distribution to the upside. So you can frame this as an AMD setup as well. And then I just mark the opens. So the opens are really important for price. They usually tend to hold price as a resistance or as support. And as you can see here, they were utilized as a support. And what else do I look for? I usually look for regular trading hours, sell side or buy side liquidity points as well. In this case, it was not that needed because price never came down for sell side liquidity. But yeah, that's what I usually do. I usually look for the first presented fair value gap as well, just to see if it acts. It's just like the open, if it acts as support or resistance. In this case, it was utilized as a support right now because we were looking for a move to the upside. So it kind of got reclaimed here. And yeah, and these lines here that you can see, these are the quadrants that I usually tend to mark as well inside um, these big PD arrays. Whenever I have a big PD array, I usually tend to divide it in quadrants. And so you can see price came for the midpoint of it, then it retraced back, full retrace back to the bottom of it. It came to the upside, it kind of resisted here to go for the next quadrant, but where did it support? It is supported right at the quadrant and moved to the upside here. So the next point of support should be the midpoint, and the next pit stop should be the 75%, and so on and so on. So this is somehow my framework, and I usually use NWalks as well. NWalks in a trending market, it's kind of hard to frame those NWalks because they will just get touched, and usually as soon as they get touched, price just run from them. But it can act as a grid to price action. And if you are in some sort of a accumulation type of price action or something like that, you can expect for price to go from NWalk to NWalk and move like just like this. So it's just a grid, just to drive you through price action. And that's all I do, I guess. Yeah, I always tend to frame things on an AMD perspective. And if you look at the 15-minute, usually the 15-minute will give you that AMD. It usually will have, it will give you that AMD. So imagine, so Asia as the accumulation, London as the manipulation here. It was not that textbook because usually the manipulation, unless you consider the manipulation a little bit just like this, the accumulation, just like this. This can be the manipulation here, and then distribution to the upside. And if you go, oops, and if you go back and just watch these happening, especially on the 15-minute, you can frame a lot of these movements on the 15-minute. And I can give you another one just right here from yesterday's price action. So accumulation, manipulation. This was not expected on price here. I believe a lot of people was kind of hurt around here, but then we distribute higher once again. So if I go a little bit back here, let me just see here. So here you have accumulation on Asia. Here you have your manipulation in London, and then distribution higher. So it's always like that usually. The only problem is sometimes is where should I enter to get that manipulation? So that's the main problem, but it will help you a lot framing your bias actually. And I usually tend to use this to frame my bias, not to position myself uh, on any sort of trade, but just to frame my bias. I could eventually use this on a higher time frame, and you can eventually take advantage of this to position yourself on some sort of a swing trade. Because if you were looking into this and say, okay, there's my Asia accumulation, there's my London manipulation, so now what I'm expecting is a distribution higher. So okay, I will just enter a micro contract around here, put my stop below the manipulation, and let things run. And probably at the end of the day, I will reach my TP. So there's a lot of ways to work in this market. We just have to find one that resonates with us, with our day to day. Yeah, just look for AMD, just to frame your bias, not to take any positions. It will help you a lot. And don't try to frame your AMD as a textbook AMD, because sometimes you won't get a textbook AMD just like today. Give it some leash, I guess, and try to frame it without imagine here another one here. So this is not, yeah, this one is not the best one. So Asia really, so this is the accumulation. Here you have your manipulation lower, and then you have your distribution higher, but the distribution was followed by all of this, because we were in some sort of a rejection block, I guess. But yeah, try to frame it that way, and you will see that you will have a lot of things to play with. And yeah, price just kept grinding higher here. So it really was unfortunate. It really was. Yeah, you can do nothing. That's why I'm not mad. That's why I'm not mad. But yeah, at least we were right. At least we were right. I guess I entered around here. My stop would have been below 830 open. I would have taken some profits at these highs here, or eventually looking back at it, I probably would get stopped out here at break even because price really came down here. Wicks did some damage. At this point, I probably were protected at break even. So yeah, it might end as a break even trade probably, unless I would have taken some partials around this price action here. But I don't know. But yeah, it's always a game plan of ifs, and I don't like to play those games. It is what it is. Don't try to put your business into that if game. But yeah, probably yeah, I would have been stopped out here at break even unless I mitigated my stop around 9:30 open, not expecting it to go below it. But once a once a winner trade can never go back as a losing trade. So I would probably protected myself here at break even. And with this leg down, I would have been stopped out. We are aware of an issue. Oh yeah, yeah. Thank God. Thank God we didn't trade. Yeah. Let me just check it. Yeah, TopStep Discord is on fire right now. And someone is writing on the status update. So another message will follow. There we go. Hey traders, we've rolled out and fixed a fix and systems are coming back online. It's safe to resume trading, though we are continuing to monitor closely to ensure everything stays stable. We appreciate your patience while we got this sorted. Time to get back in the markets. We'll keep you posted if anything changes. Please note there is no need to contact our trader support team. We are working on communicating next steps for all traders impacted. Okay. So it seems like everything is back to normal, but it's too late now. If you decide to protect yourself with break even, do you just manually close your position when it's break even, or do you move stop loss to break even? Yeah, I just move my stop loss to break even. I want, and this is a tip. If you can remove, um, if you can remove the pressure of deciding everything by yourself, using limit orders, just do it. Use limit orders instead of deciding everything by yourself, because things can change, and sometimes you have the mental stop and you say to yourself, oh, if price goes here, I will just close it. But you have to take that decision, and if the stop is already there, it will close it. And whenever price reaches it, you might, if there's a an open stop, I mean, if there's that mental stop, you might change your mind. And usually that's when things go wrong because you start to tilt, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or whatever. And if the stop is there, okay, it will do its job. So you take that pressure off of you. So I will always choose to move my stop loss to break even if I can, and not decide to just push the button, because some intrusive thoughts can happen, and you may start to ask yourself, oh, and what happens if I do not close it manually? What happens? You start that if game, and that if game can be very toxic. So you better put your stop there, and it will do the job for you. Yeah, I tend to stream every day, from Monday to Friday. I'm not sure if I will stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if it is worth it, but probably I'm not sure. Friday, no, probably not, because it's an early close, and whenever we have an early close, it's kind of a no game for me. But yeah, I tend to do it every day, Monday to Friday. So if you want to chat a bit, and if you want to, I don't know, just share some thoughts and some knowledge, I'm here. And there we go. We keep on rising here. We just keep on rising. By the way, brother, how's the weather in Denmark? I'm always curious about the weather outside of Portugal. I believe it's snowing already, right? Yeah. Yeah, in Portugal we had the last couple of weeks, they were pretty rainy. It rained a lot. We had some storms as well. Oh, it's very cold. I don't know about the temperature here here right now, but 14. Yeah, it's 14 degrees. Pretty different from Denmark, 14 degrees Celsius. But believe me, it's cold here because our houses are not that well prepared for cold days here in Portugal. So whenever it's about, yeah, whenever it's about 10 degrees Celsius, 7, 6, 5, which can happen here, um, even inside your house, it's very cold because we don't have the houses are not built the way they are built in the northern countries. So we don't have that comfort inside of our homes unless you want to spend a lot of money in some AC. Because electricity here is it's pretty expensive here in Portugal. So price kept on rising since we are back with the TopStep platform. It's making a pit stop here at the quadrant, and as you can see here, it stopped right at the tick. It's not a random thing. Of course, it might go further up, but the first reaction was to the tick at that quadrant. So whenever you have big PD arrays, divide them into quadrants and you will see that you will have a grid to work with. So that's pretty impressive and quite important as well. So yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get anything today, and I'm reaching for my time window of action, the end of my time window of action. Well, summarizing the trading session, it really was annoying not getting into this long here because of these platform issues, but I guess we all have to deal with that sometime. It would have been a good trade if I would have not placed myself at break even, which I probably would. But yeah, it's been a up only week. I kind of anticipated as an up only week the way we closed on Friday, the way we opened on Monday as a no news Monday. So at this point, I believe it's safe to say that we are targeting buy side liquidity on higher time frames, unless we get a huge rejection here on this daily CB. Higher numbers will come. I don't believe we will get that huge rejection because it's a holiday week. So I guess this up only movement, this creeping higher from price action will continue until we reach for buy side liquidity on the higher time frames, probably as all-time highs once again. So I know that I kind of changed my bias because last week I was kind of bearish, but the way price is presenting itself these first days of the week, it's pretty sure that we will probably head towards all-time highs once again. And we have to keep in mind that we are approaching Christmas. And whenever we approach Christmas, and usually it happens every year, we have what we call the Santa rally, which I was kind of not respecting with that bearish bias. So the Santa rally would probably give us that rally to the upside, marking new all-time highs. So yeah, guys, I guess that's it. We are approaching the 2-hour mark as well. So it was a nice stream. It was a nice stream as well. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Whenever you want, brother. Just type it in the chat and I can share some knowledge as well, and you can share with me things that you will learn as well. So as a trader, we are always learning. So I'm glad I kind of helped you in some way. Okay, I will decide if I will stream tomorrow or not. Yeah, but probably I will, since I will have nothing to do as well. And so if the market is open, I will probably stream, but probably only just a tape reading session, as a tape reading session, not actively trying to catch some trades. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for those who were present, and yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Have a nice dinner. Have a nice evening, a nice afternoon, and yeah, I guess see you tomorrow. Stay safe, guys, and don't try to force anything you already know. See you tomorrow. Thank you.